Hello everyone, I'm here on Facebook Live and I'm going to be uploading this to YouTube, and this video is about your content marketing strategy for small business. If you operate a small business, even a medium business, you've got to have a content marketing strategy. So what does that mean really, a content marketing strategy? Well, a strategy by definition is how you deploy forces or resources for a known objective. In marketing, lead generation, and customer acquisition, in today's marketplace, you cannot attract clients without creating content. That content may be as simple as a website with a few pages, and it may be as complex with a whole dynamic of resources that you offer, from e-courses, blogs, videos on YouTube, live stream here on Facebook. You may be offering free calculators, free resources, free downloads. You may be publishing infographics. You may be publishing free ebooks. All these things and more are content. I won't go into all of the types of content that you can be creating. You can do your own research and find that there is a vast array of content that you can be creating for your small business. Now, it can get overwhelming, so here's the first point of your content strategy. What is the piece of content that you are going to create on a routine basis? Is it going to be Facebook Live, and then you're going to turn those into YouTube videos? Are you going to write blogs? Are you going to concentrate on distributing your ebook? For small businesses, what I recommend is just take one or two initiatives, two types of content, maybe three at the most, and concentrate on those. I would not worry about all the things that you're not doing. What I would concentrate on is what can you commit to doing consistently that will add value. So if it's blogging and you're going to hire a writer and you want to do that on a consistent basis, that would be better than trying to be in 9 places and be inconsistent in all of them. So really, what you've got to determine in your content marketing strategy is, what is the piece of content that we're really going to commit ourselves to, not only doing consistently, but doing fairly professionally. Because I would rather have you do one thing or two things well than a bunch of things unprofessionally. So that would be your first point. What is the piece of content that we're going to concentrate on and do and market consistently? Number 2, once you've decided that it's going to be video or an ebook or a blog or whatever it is, maybe it's a podcast. The real thing that you have to concentrate on, the real point of the strategy, is how you're going to distribute that content. I recently wrote an article, in fact I wrote it this morning, I put it on LinkedIn, I put it on Quora, and it's about the 80-20 rule. And I think this is the most important point, particularly today in 2017 and beyond, in your content marketing. 10 years ago, it was enough to just create a bunch of blog posts and rank for them, but there's so much competition now that you have to really not only put your attention on creating well-developed content, but you have to spend 80% of your time on actually distributing that content, getting that content out, retweeting that content, optimizing that content, emailing that content out, even boosting it with paid Facebook posts or Twitter cards or LinkedIn ads. You've got to now, because of the dynamic of the internet, you've got to apply the 80-20 rule, which is 20% creating the content and 80% of your effort and time distributing that content. So let's say you create an extremely valuable piece of information that will really be engaging for your clientele. You could be a real estate agent here in Henderson, Nevada, and have a really great piece of content, whether it's an ebook or a blog post on how to properly buy property in Henderson, Nevada. Well, you could spend a lot of time creating that content, but factually, you could spend years distributing that content to people that are moving into Henderson, people that are moving out of Henderson, people that are thinking about moving to Henderson. How long can that content have life? Well, that piece of content could have life for years. So you may spend a few weeks or maybe even a month creating that piece of content, but you could spend literally years upon years making sure that that content is ranking, being emailed, being retweeted, properly promoted on Facebook. You see what I'm saying? Like, the majority of your effort, of your content strategy, has got to be towards distribution, not creation. Because I know a lot of people that do create content going, okay, I wrote the blog post, I hit publish, or I created the video, I uploaded it to YouTube. And I've seen YouTube videos from people that have created 3 years ago that have like 20 views, which means they're not even getting 1 view per month on their video. So they put all this effort in creating the video, but nobody's seeing it because they're not distributing the video. You can tell that that video, A, is not properly optimized for search, and number 2, they're not taking the effort to continually put that video in front of people. And I'll give you one example. I had a client that runs a swimming school, and we created these little YouTube videos, maybe about 2 to 3 minutes each one of them answering a specific question that people would ask. You know, well, how much does it cost to get swimming lessons? How old does my child have to be to begin swimming lessons? What type of pool is my child swimming in, right? We created these little snippets. Well, that was the creation of the content, and we put a lot of effort in creating professional content. But we knew that if we did not, A, optimize that video for local search, and B, continually push that content out through Facebook ads to local people, no one was going to see it regardless of how well created that content was. So the content only took a few weeks to create, but we spent months and months and months of effort in distributing that content, and guess what? He started to get results from the content, not because the content was awesome, which it was, but because the content was being seen and consumed. Because 80% of our effort was being put into distributing the content and taking the effort to put the content in front of the target audience that we wanted to have. Now, your content strategy for a small business should be no longer than a couple of pages. This is not a complex exercise. This is not a complex drill. Number 1, who's our audience? What type of content would they find interesting? This is based on survey, asking them questions. You know, what can we provide to you that would offer value beyond asking you for business? Number 2, what type of content are we going to create that is then going to be that thing that they consume? Is it going to be a video? Is it going to be an e-course? Is it going to be an ebook? Is it going to be, like, what is that thing? What is that piece of content that we're going to put in front of that target audience? And then number 3, how do we make sure that that piece of content is being constantly seen and consumed by that target audience on an ongoing basis? Not just for a day, not just for a week, but over and over and over. How are we going to engage? And then probably number 4 would be reiteration. Once we get feedback from our audience, what is new pieces of content, and then we repeat the cycle all over again. So that would be the basic content marketing strategy for a small business. I go into this more in depth in my book, Power Branding Secrets. You can go to Kindle or Amazon, purchase my book. Not only do I go into in depth on each of these points on content marketing, but at the end of my book, I actually give a step-by-step program that you can literally build a battle plan from and do right then and there from your own business. So this book is not just a bunch of theories about content marketing, it's actually how to execute content marketing for your business. Seth Godin, one of the most famous marketers on the planet, if not the most famous marketer on the planet, said that there is no marketing other than content marketing. We are at this point in juncture in society that Facebook, YouTube, blogs, digital search is how people find, engage, and evaluate the quality of a brand. So if you're not putting these little snippets of content out onto the internet, you just don't exist as a business. And There's so many different types of content to create, but again, concentration, simplicity, and then deployment is the key to your content marketing strategy for a small business. If you need help with this, I'd love to work with you. I love working with small businesses and entrepreneurs and helping them develop, strategic and effective content, and then how to distribute it so as to grow their business. This is Edwin Dearborn. You have a great day. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.